Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly predictions video for the final episode of The Walking Dead Season 4. Been an incredible season. This one will be doing my final predictions for The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 16, which is simply called A. Okay, and as always, my video reviews and predictions do contain spoilers. Now, for this week's, I'm going to also issue sort of a more spoiler warning than usual for this prediction. Now, I have done a predictions video for the finale already. I did that a couple weeks back, or early last week, I think it was. But for this one here, this is going to be focusing on the promo, the previews, like I usually do each week, so I don't want to break formula. I'm going to do it because there's certain things to talk about with regards to this, and also where the story's going. Now, I kind of want to be a little bit specific with this, with in terms of spoilers. This predictions I may get things right, and there may be some spoilers here, because it looks like the finale, based on where we're at right now, is going to be somewhat predictable. Okay. Now, the reason why I say that is because after watching the first promo, so I'll put the links in the description as always, to the promo and the 2 sneak peeks, which is what we usually get for each episode of The Walking Dead. That said, so possible spoilers with the predictions, because most likely some of them are going to be right. Now, so if you're worried about that, don't watch. If you just want to watch it totally fresh with nothing. But based on the description for the episode, I've read it a few times in videos. My apologies, but I should do it again. Many paths collide. The episode's called A. Many paths collide. Rick faces sheer brutality. The group struggles to survive. As I've said before, the group struggles to survive. They always struggle to survive, so that means nothing. Many paths collide. We've already seen people start to meet up again. We saw Glenn and Maggie, which is a really touching moment. Really happy moment for the two of them to find each other, and looks like we're going to see others as well. Rick faces sheer brutality. Okay, so here's the part that I kind of think this is kind of a no-brainer with a prediction. So, if you don't want to even talk about what you think is going to happen in the finale, then I suggest you kind of turn off or don't watch at this point. So that said, everyone else who's still watching, I assume you guys want to do predictions and that kind of stuff. I think this one's pretty straightforward. We haven't seen her for a few episodes now, and that is, of course, Beth. Some people may have even, like casual viewers, may have even forgotten about her, that type of thing. But it looks like at this point, she's been gone for a little while. It looks like Daryl's been with that group she's been gone at least 2 days, because he slept, right? They ran into him the next day after he lost her at night. So at least, at the very minimum, she's been missing for 2 to 3 days now. In terms of, even in the real world, someone goes missing for over 48 hours. There's, and I don't know the exact percentage, but there's a pretty good likelihood they're dead. In a zombie apocalypse, if someone goes missing in that fashion and doesn't bring their stuff and is taken like that, basically, you pretty much know that, if you don't see them within a couple days of searching in that area, they're probably dead, just saying. So we can probably assume at this point that Beth is either dead or in horrible shape. And when I say horrible, I mean like terrible shape, right? And I think we can imagine that. Now, that said, we do see in the promo that Rick has blood on his hands, and he's kind of sitting there, and he's just got this dumbfounded, shocked look on his face with blood just like everywhere, and it's really dark. So it looks like to me Rick has stumbled upon Beth, I think. Now, I'm assuming she's dead, because I don't really see, it's not feasible, I don't think, to me it's not feasible that she would still be alive at this point. It wouldn't really make sense, personally, unless she's like severely dismembered or something, which, how could they do that? I mean, in a comic book, you just draw it in. But in the TV series, like they did the thing with Merle with the hand and that was clever. But what would they do in terms of, like, if a whole leg was gone? It just, it wouldn't, I don't know how they could do it. It'd be really tough to do. So it sounds like to me, best time in the series is probably over, and Rick is probably going to find Beth. Also, too, it makes sense that either him or Daryl would be the ones to find her, since like Andrew Lincoln, of course, such an incredible actor. We've seen it when he lost Lori, when he had to kill Shane. He's just, you're not going to have any trouble with him and that performance. He's also the leading man of the series, so he put Sophia down, that kind of thing. it would make sense if he was to stumble across Beth, and I think that's what has happened here in the finale. So that's going to be a dark one if that's the way they go, and my prediction, I think that is what they're doing, because Daryl, of course, is with Joe and the others. They could, I guess, find her, I suppose, but it just looks like from the blood and everything from the promo, it looks like it's probably going to be Rick. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. At least we'll get to see what happened to Beth, I assume, in the finale. If we don't, if it's like not included at all, and we don't even see her like ever again, that would be weird, wouldn't it? If we just like never saw Beth again. But I assume we're going to see her, and that it's connected to Terminus, and next episode we're going to find out what happened. Unless they leave it for next season with some kind of cliffhanger, which I hope they don't. But because we just got to Terminus, to me it sounds like it's going to be really hard for them to wrap up all these things in one episode. I mean, how much time do they have? With commercials, we're looking at like just over 40 minutes with the intro and all that. The credits at the end, the promo, the intro, about 40 minutes, let's say, right? You're going to have some slow parts in that, like we saw in the sneak peeks here. Both of them, both of them actually. You've got Rick and his group, Michonne, Carl, really cool threesome of them. Don't take that out of context. But you've got the three of them, and Rick is kind of showing in the second sneak peek Carl how to create a trap for rabbits to go through so it can catch them. And man, that's really cool foreshadowing. He's talking about a trap. The animals going here. It's like, wow, that's that's pretty clever, because you think about the overall macro situation of the show and traps. So I really like that. In the other sneak peek, you've got Michonne, Carl and Rick, and of course, Michonne is so cool. You think about this, Rick and Carl probably used to having somebody like Lori around, and a walker comes up and she runs the other way or goes, Rick, and this kind of thing, and starts screaming and freaking out. Michonne's just like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, comes at it. I love it because she just takes out the sword. She's like, oh, right, yeah, that's my thing. I forgot. So Rick and Carl are just like, hey, she's kind of cool to have with, she's kind of cool to be stuck with, because she just, oh yeah, I'll take care of that, don't worry about it. Rick's got his hands in his pockets, doesn't even have to, walkers come up, he doesn't even have to do anything. It's so cool to see compared to some of the characters earlier on in the show, like Andrea at the beginning, when she sees one walker and she just freaks out and falls over and starts screaming. To see a strong female character like Michonne, such an awesome character. So I like that sneak peek as well too. Aside from that, the promo just looks like it's going to be freaky as hell. You've got the voice in the background, Terminus, whatever. It looks really good. It looks like Rick's gonna have some traumatizing things happen. And I mean, of course, if you count it, we'll have the one death, which of course is going to be Beth, probably, most likely. And then we'll probably get at least one or two others, because it is a finale. Maybe Tara, I could see. But because she's so predictable, they may go the other route. Kirkman likes to do that. He's been doing that for a long time. If you think a character like Carol's going to get killed off at any time, she'll survive. If you think, another character is going to be, is weaker or whatever, he likes to do that. So we'll see. They try to not make it predictable, but that's what I think is going to happen. That should be the main thing. The one piece that's really strange is what's going to happen with Joe and Daryl and those guys. It looks like to me, now I'm going to do a video talking about this by itself, but it looks like they're tracking Rick, because if you notice, the candy wrapper was there, and they're headed in that direction. And I was incorrect in my review. Thank you guys for correcting me. That basically what I had said is I was confused about who Joe was referring to about the Terminus, because he said, no, it's a trap. We held up in some house, and this guy was hiding inside, and he killed one of our guys and got away, this really ugly guy, and Tony got a look at him. And it was actually, he was referring to Rick, and at first it didn't click for me, and then when you guys mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, he was referring to Rick. That totally makes sense. But it wasn't at Terminus. It was just at this house, which for me was a little bit strange, but he's smart enough to know that obviously it's a trap, clearly, And then, so what are they doing? Is Joe's group tracking Rick? And are we going to see some kind of battle in the finale? Wouldn't that be weird if Joe's group found Rick in the finale, Rick, Carl, and Michonne, and then in the whole mix of things, Daryl had to stab Joe in the back or something, or shoot him dead, because maybe Daryl would see Rick and be like, oh shit, and then turn and start like killing Joe's guys. I mean, I'm just thinking, but maybe we could see something like that. So in addition to that, of course, we've got Glenn and their group that's just arrived. We've got all these different groups and all these different interesting things happening with them. Tyrese and Carol are out there too. Like, how are they going to wrap all this up this season and have everything, kind of come together like that? I'm sort of like thinking to myself, how are they going to wrap this all up in one episode? I really don't think they can. So I kind of think it's inevitable. I don't think there's any way around it, but definitely I don't think all these things are going to be resolved by the end of this season. This episode right here, even though it's a season finale, I think it's going to be somewhat kind of like a regular episode, except that, there'll be some more exciting things happening, but I don't think it's going to be like a huge season finale like Too Far Gone was. Because we haven't had enough time for them to really build up, some new story arcs. There's so many new developments and separations with the groups and everything that we're starting to see some things get tied up, like Maggie and Glenn. But there's too many other loose ends for them to tie them all up in one episode, I think. So we're going to have to see how it is, unless it's super fast paced and they go through everything like rapid fire and bodies just start, flying out all over the place. Unless they go that route, I think it's going to be some kind of cliffhanger ending. I don't see how they're going to be able to wrap it up, or at least maybe they'll be able to wrap up a few things, and then next season we'll begin with the characters at Terminus with this whole trap thing ready to spring or something like that. But it definitely, to me, doesn't seem like we're going to see the end of Terminus in one episode. It looks like we're going to see, over at least probably another half season with these characters, spread out, meeting up, and and before they move on to a new story arc, I'm sure we're going to see some lingering things. Like, how's Daryl? Like, how could they have the whole group get back together, resolve the Terminus situation, finish off or kill the Hunters, even though we've just kind of met them or whatever the TV show's version of the Hunters are, which is strange at Terminus. So the whole thing with Beth. Tyrese and Carol getting in there, Daryl's group with Joe. How could we see all these things resolved in one episode? I don't think you can do it. I really don't. So I personally, even though everybody might meet back up, I don't think we're going to see absolutely everything resolved in one episode. It'd be too much. I don't think they can do it. So we're going to see probably a cliffhanger, even though that kind of sucks. But at least, hopefully, we'll see most things resolved for the most part. I guess we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the finale. If you have any video suggestions, please feel free to send them to me. Still going to probably do, just as many videos as I normally do, even though I got some personal stuff going on this week, but I've got some time off work, so that's good. So I'd still probably do the regular amount of Walking Dead videos daily. Let me know what you guys thought about last week's episode. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the series or season finale. Almost said series finale there, season finale. And so just let's talk about it. Let's get the discussion started. If you liked the predictions video, please like it. If you want to support the channel, feel free to favorite it. And I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another discussion topic. This is Trev saying peace.